Jesus, while Romans sporadically persecute and kill them. One tradition has it that Christianity survived this dark period by going underground, literally underground. These are the catacombs, family tombs that snake beneath the street outside the ancient walls of Rome. The catacombs are the site of the first Christian churches in the capital of the empire. Until recently, it was thought that the catacombs were a secret sanctuary for persecuted Christians. Yet modern scholars have discovered that the catacombs were not used only by Christians.
That's right.
In fact, the underground tombs were the traditional place of burial for Roman pagans.
People celebrated a meal together with their dead in the Roman catacombs. I'm not talking about Christians, I'm talking about pagans. The spirit, as it were, of the person who had died hovered near the place where they were buried. And so you could actually eat with them. You could even pour a small libation of the wine, and they would, as it were, be part of the picnic.
Okay, now what I'm going to do, Elder, right here, if you don't mind, I'm going to pause because our theologian stated that the Christians were occupying the same space with pagans.
Yes.
And pagans were pagans had a unique practice, a certain practice that was obviously blatant paganism.
Blatant. But
the Christians really and truly didn't partake in that. Our secular information upon further investigation states that that's not true. That in fact they did adopt practically all of the paganistic practices that were under the catacombs of Rome. And this is what I have from the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's titled All Souls Day. The day set apart in the Roman Catholic Church for the commemoration of the faithful departed. The celebration is based on the doctrine that the souls of the faithful which at death have not been cleansed from venial sins or have not atoned for past transgressions cannot attain the beatific vision, and that it may be helped to do so by prayer and by the sacrifice of the Mass. Certain popular beliefs connected with All Souls Day are of pagan origin and immemorial antiquity. Thus, the dead are believed by the peasantry of many Catholic countries to return to their former homes on All Souls Night and partake of the food of the living. Encyclopedia Britannica, Volume 1, page 709.
Is that, would that be related to modern practices of purgatory?
Yes.
Would be very similar.
Correct.
Where people petition the Most High to do something with that soul after it's actually passed on.
Absolutely, which is a very interesting point, Elder, because in Hebraic theology there is no such thing as purgatory.
No.
But we do know that in the Christian faith, largely promoted by Catholicism, that purgatory is essentially a holding place, if you will, somewhat of a, how would you say, what's the word that I want to use here? It is a time in between two times, basically. You got a time that you live, you got a time that you're dead, but you really ain't dead, right? And then you got another time that you come back for a judgment. And we can't find that supported anywhere in the scriptures whatsoever.
So where did that practice come from?
Well, exactly. And this is what we're really trying to get our audience, this is what we're trying to get our audience to do. We're trying to get our audience, our viewers, to really think and to question their religious leaders, to hold them accountable. See, people, your religious leaders, your ecclesiastical leader, I don't care if he's rabbi, don't care if he's pope, bishop, pastor, deacon, elder, counselor, teacher, moray, it does not matter. Anyone who picks up a book that expands from Genesis to Revelation, there are certain basics that they should have an understanding of as it relates to the precepts of the Most High. And if indeed there are teachers, there are a lot of technical points and a lot of nuances that they are supposed to be articulating to you. And on a whole scale, on a large scale, people, that's not taking place.
No, it isn't.
70% of the world population believe that they are serving the true and living God, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And what we're doing, people, is we're actually substantiating from an ecclesiastical perspective, confirmed secularly, that there's only one form of worship and service, and that if you indeed call yourself a follower of the Most High and a follower of Christ, if you will, your works will harmonize with what's written in the scriptures. It will not be man-made. Everything that we are introducing to you in terms of, in reference to our show, Paganism, a hidden religion, are all man-made.
That's correct.
Man-contrived, conceived.
That's right.
Okay? All right, let's go back to our material here.
Far from being places of refuge are actually an attempt to integrate Roman customs.
Okay, I need to back up on that here. I know we went over this last week, but you know, we still have quite a bit of ways to go, but let's just go back here.
The catacomb churches, far from being places of refuge, are actually an attempt to integrate Roman customs into the evolving forms of Christian worship. As Christian practices become more Roman in style,
look at that,
the persecutions begin to diminish. The new religion grows.
All right, now I'm going to pause right there. All right. What we see, Elder, is, and this is what we communicate to all of our congregants, students, right, and visitors. You know, the apostles studied a doctrine that was not similar, that did not harmonize to what we find in the Old Testament. It was identical.
It was identical.
Okay. They practiced the very same thing, okay, that Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Moses, Joshua, all of the patriarchs, all of the fathers, all of the councils, all of the teachers, all of the prophets practiced. And they did not deviate in the least.
And as a result, what happened? They were persecuted.
Absolutely.
And here we see that the more Christianity adopted Roman practice, the less persecution.
Correct.
So that's a very pivotal point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here is secular information, Elder, that is confirming that the Christian faith adopted all of these pagan customs. Okay, and as they adopted these pagan customs, you know, the persecution, to your point, you know, began to dwindle down to the point of ceasing.
Yes,
okay,
that's right.
And why? It is my belief that the reason why it stopped is because the Reformed Christian faith began to look identical to pagan theology.
That's right. There was no need to persecute them. They had become one, essentially.
All right, here we go.
Yet, as the faith evolves and changes, factions within Christianity begin to challenge each other. New forms of worship emerge, each insisting on its own orthodoxy. As the danger of Roman persecution begins to fade, the equally severe danger of factionalism threatens to tear apart the Christian religion. It is the eve of what will be the greatest battle of his life, the fight for control of the empire. It is precisely at this point that the would-be emperor has a vision. It is an apparition that will change